Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome to day 5 of Android Kotlin Bootcamp. If you haven't seen the previous videos, go back and check them out. They're on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be customizing some UI based upon what the user says. So say I type in Dan and hit the button. I want to say something different for Mel, and this is just some basic Kotlin stuff we're going to go over. But by the end of this video, you should know how to customize the UI. So say it was Nate or Nathan. Let's see if I can type. So if it was Nathan and you click the button, like what's going to happen? So in the last video, we kind of touched upon how to access some of the stuff inside of the layout. So if I click on the text view here, you can see you may need to open that up. So open that up and you may need to switch between those. But you can see it has an ID of user first name. So we can access that directly in the code like we saw in the last video. So we could do user first name dot text dot to string, and there we are. This will be the value of whatever we type into that box there. So, and we have an extra in there. So that's kind of what we learned in the last lesson, but I want to customize the UI a little bit. So say it's Nathan. You want to say something different for Beth or something different for Mel. So we can do that pretty easily. So first of all, what do we need to do? So we know we can get the value of we can get the value of whatever is typed inside of there. Just by doing the first name, which again is we get the ID from here, and we call .text on it, .toString. That'll give us back the string, which is the text. So that'll give us back Nathan. So that is equivalent of typing. That's what we'll get back there. So all of that right there just equals Nathan, or whatever else we enter into the box. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and assign a variable to this. Actually, no, let's not do that. So we have the button here, and so the idea is you click on the text box, you type in your name, you hit the button, and then it displays something at the bottom. So let's go ahead and drag in, and this could be closed there, but let's drag in a text view, and I'm just going to put it on the screen somewhere. And then I'm going to click and drag from the left side over to the left side of the screen. That kind of snaps it up there, and that to the bottom of that, and that should work out. Again, not really focusing on UI here. Say if you wanted to, just so we can see it on the screen, I'm going to make it pretty big. So yeah, there we go. And so one more thing we need to do, we need to give this an ID. So we can go up to the top right, and we can call this anything you want to. We can call this finished message, just to give you the idea when you're finished, or when you press the button, there's the text view. It's probably a bad name for it, but I can't think of anything else right now. It'll work for now. It's good to put good thought into what kind of names you use. So yeah, there we go. So we type our name in there, we hit the button, and then we have a message right here that says something back to us. Okay, so let's go. So the button, we need to get its ID. So this is called submit button. Not very descriptive, but anyway, so submit button dot set on click listener, and we want this one with the brackets there. And this is gonna we kind of covered this in the last video, but everything that happens inside of here, this is all gonna happen whenever you click on the submit button. So every time you click on, you can just add set on click listener to a submit button, and it'll do all of this stuff here. So we learned that there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just comment that out for now. So that's not really going to be executed. Nothing's going to happen. So let's go back inside of here. So whenever the submit button is pressed, let's do something like this. So we know we have first name dot text dot to string, but we want to see if it equals something. So let's do this. We can do if. So if the first name text to string, if that equals Dan, then we want to it's Dan. So if the first name equals Dan, then we want to do something here. And we're just going to log something to the logcat. It says, hi, I'm Dan. So that's basically, so let's go ahead and open up logcat, and I already typed in testing there. That can be anything. It can be anything you want, but I'm just calling it testing for now. So every time we get the submit button, every time we click on it, and I'm going to get rid of that line because it doesn't do anything. I'm going to get rid of that because we don't need it. And every time we click on the button, it's going to get the first user first name and see if it equals Dan. If it does, we're going to display that. Or else, if it's something else, then we want to display it's someone else. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, and you can either run it by clicking the button there, or by using the keyboard shortcut. And I'm going to open up the emulator, and this should show up. So let's see. So give it a second. This will open up, and there it is. So I can type out Dan, and if I go ahead and type out Dan and hit the button, you see, hey, it's Dan right there. If I type in Mel, hit the button, hey, it's someone else. So that's kind of cool, and you can do a lot of this. So right now we've learned about the if and the else, but there's actually an else if. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that down a little bit. But there's else, so we can say, hey, if the first name is Dan, then do all of that. Else if user first name dot text dot to string, if it equals Mel, then I want to do I'll just go ahead and copy that, but I want to say, hey, it's Mel. Mel. So there it is. And you might be wondering, how many times can we do this? We can do this however many times we want to. So if I want to just do else if, I can do all of these. I could be Mel, it could be Grace, it could be Hannah, it could be Bob, it could be Zach. So you can obviously kind of go through all of this, and you can do else if as many times as you need to do it. Now you're probably wondering, this is kind of a mess, and we have all these if statements. It looks really there's another way we can do this, and it's probably a little bit better. Well, it just kind of depends. I mean, everything depends. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all of that. Just to get rid of all of that. Okay, so there's another way we can do it. We can do when. So when sorry, let's start over. Let's do when what was it called? User first name. When that equals Mel, then I want to wait. So every time I click, so I have the submit button there, and I have set on click listener. Then I'm going to do something like when user first name dot text dot to equals Mel, then I'm going to say testing, it's Mel. Okay, there we go. So there's also, this is a little bit cleaner, but say you have lots of different names. So imagine you can just do it this way. So Dan, it's less lines of code. It's a little bit less than if statements, and there are better ways to do this, but for now this works. So let's do if Nathan, if this is Hannah, if this is Bob, if this is Zach, if this is Deb, if this is Rachel. So you can obviously just go through this and do it however many times you want to. So this should work. Let me look at this. So submit button set on click listener. Then we have the when statement. So it's kind of saying, hey, whenever the name equals Mel, then we have this kind of special sign there. It says, hey, do all of that. So that's a line, that's a line, that's a line. So each one of these lines represents another kind of if statement like we did before. So if we just have a few of them, we can get rid of some of those. So there's also one more thing I want to do, but I'm going to go ahead and save this. And we have Mel, Dan, Nathan, and Bob. I'm just going to copy this over really quick. Let's see, Hannah. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, and I'm going to run it with the keyboard shortcut, or you can press that. And I'm going to go back to the emulator, and we can see here, and we have it open up, logcat open up. So I'm going to type in Mel. We type in Mel, hit the submit button. It says it's Mel. Or if you say Hannah, Hannah. And obviously you could customize this with Nathan. Like Nathan, let's see, like Nathan, how are you? Or Dan, what's up? So you can like play around with a lot of this. So there's one more thing I want to get into. So I'm going to go back to the emulator, and I'm going to type out Mel. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button, and you'll see nothing shows up down there. What's going on? Well, notice we have a capital M. So if we were to make the M lowercase like that and hit the button, then it shows up. So how do we get rid of capitalization? There are a couple of ways to do this, but for now the way that'll work is just to convert it to lowercase. So notice all of our names here are all lowercase. So what we can do is we can say, hey, whenever the username's text is or we're going to say, hey, whenever the lowercase version of user first name is, whenever that lowercase equals Mel or Dan or Nathan or Hannah or Bob, whenever that equals, we'll just go ahead and run it. So save, I'm going to run it, go back to the emulator, and I'm going to go ahead and type Mel with all capital, hit the button, and there it is, it's Mel. So it's picking it up, so it's saying, hey, so it doesn't matter that, I mean, some letters can be uppercase, some can be lowercase. Hit the button and you see, hey, it's Mel. And the reason is because we're converting it to lowercase. And so this is lowercase there. So this is kind of the when statement. There's a lot you can do with it. You could assign it to a variable. You could do stuff like val message equals. Then we'd have to rework a little bit of stuff. But the when is kind of powerful. Like if you want to customize something, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do, or we can do stuff like when it's. So we have something more complex. So hey, when it's Daniel. And we can actually do a ton of code here. So we can just type out, we can type out all of our code. So what I could put something like, I could put a log statement in there. And so if you have lots of, like say if you want to do a lot for Daniel, you can use these brackets and anything inside of there goes inside of it. But so hopefully you learned something. This is the when statement. It can be used to customize what you say to one person, or it could be used in millions of different ways. I mean, an unlimited amount of ways. You'll probably use when statements on a lot of your apps. But hopefully you learned something, and I'll post this up to YouTube now, and I'll try to make another one tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.